You want to know more about Outposts, but how and where should you build it, and why even bother? This quick start guide is the answer to those questions. You will have your outpost built with both great short and long-term benefits, which I will explain to you once we finish setting it up. We'll go over the entire process step by step, and this guide works for both new and veteran players. No skills needed, only 600 credits and 15 minutes of your time to build it, starting now. Alright, step 1 in building our basic outpost in 15 minutes is to buy the resources that we need. So if you're not there already, wherever you are, make your way to New Atlantis, land at the spaceport, and let's make our way to Jemison Mercantile. If you are a new player and wondering what is Jemison Mercantile, it's a store here in New Atlantis where we can buy our resources. And also I've included some tips, some small tips for you in this guide to hopefully save you some time in playing Starfield. Now once we arrive at the store here, talk to this person and start the purchase process. By the way, before we do, you might want to go to the bottom right here and sell some of the stuff that you don't necessarily need. And with the credits you can buy the resources in a moment, and it will prevent you from becoming over encumbered, which basically means you're carrying too much, and it will slow you down in this game whenever you're running, and eventually you will take health damage. So that is something you want to avoid. So once you've done that, go to the buy part of the vendor again, and then to the resources section, and buy everything that you will see on your screen right now. Note to self, I have to show you this list. I will edit it in later on, but I am recording this in sort of live stream style, I guess you might want to call it that. So I can show you that we can actually do this in 15 minutes. Now I do need to remember correctly which ones I need and in what quantities, but it should be fine. So 4 tungsten, and as soon as you've purchased this list, we're already on to step 2, which is going to the exact location where we will be building this outpost.
Appreciate the business.
You're welcome. So open up your star map, and then as seen from Alpha Centauri, go to 11 o'clock to this system called Bessel. So jump over there, and when you arrive, open up your star map again to set your course to Bessel 3B. And now for a very important step. Already? Yes, already. You want to save your game at this point. So you arrive at Bessel 3B and go ahead, save your game. Now you might be asking yourself why. Well, let me show you in just a bit. Because this can be considered to be the hardest part of the entire guide. After you scan the moon for resources, go to this spot. And what we will be doing is we're gonna look for the exact place where 3 different biomes are all coming together. And that's where we want to land and build our outpost. So how do we go about finding this magical place? Is first, if you imagine there to be a vertical line here, then slightly off to the left, there is Rocky Desert, as you can see here. Now we will be placing landing markers more to the right of this until we find hills. So you can remove the marker by pressing tab, and then you can place a new one. So what I do is I remove it, I move my mouse slightly to the right, and I place a new landing marker. And I keep doing this until I find hills. So after you find hills, then you want to move up until you locate mountains. So moving up, and there is mountains. The mountains biome. You want to land there because I've tried it in the other 2. They don't seem to give the same result. So go over to mountains and land. And this is also why we've saved our game. If you find yourself in a different spot than we should be seeing in just a couple of seconds, because I think this is the right spot, then you can load up your saved game and you can try again. But if I can do this, then you most definitely can. So this mountain is what we're looking for. If you're seeing this mountain over your right shoulder as soon as you land, you're in the right place. So where we're going to the right side of this mountain, somewhere over there. But whilst we are walking over there, let me just quickly share 2 tips. If you are a new player and you have skill points available, I suggest you put one in geology and one in surveying. Why? These are easy skills to level up, because the first is just mining stuff and the second is scanning stuff. So as we can see ahead, we can already scan some stuff here and we can mine them. And they open up the way for you to rank up these skills pretty quickly, because this is an activity you can do in pretty much on every planet or moon you come across. And as soon as you have ranked these up to rank 4, you can then unlock a skill called Outpost Engineering. So if you want to do something more with outposts after having seen this video, then you are already on your way to that skill as well. Now, if you're wondering, if you're a new player, once again, and you're wondering about skills, which ones are good, this is the shameless self-promotion part of this video incoming. I have made a video on top 10 skills to unlock early on in the game, so you might want to check that out, and hopefully it gives you some useful info on which skills can be useful, you might want to use. Now, while we are going somewhere over here, and I'll show you how to find the right spot in just a bit, we will start building, and I will skip all the tutorial screens and all. I won't explain any of the more detailed context behind what we want to place somewhere, why we're placing it in a certain direction. If you guys like this video, please let me know down in the comments if you want me to do something more extended or more extensive on outposts. I can make a more complete guide on that. It will be a longer video than this one. And of course, if you are really enjoying this video, but wait till the end of this video to judge if you're getting out of this video what you were hoping, of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel. But first, let's build this outpost, because that's what we are here for. So here is the right location. How can you double check? On your left is the mountain with this nickel deposit, and on the right here is this lighter patch on the ground, and right in front of you, in between, is this megalodon's tooth looking kind of rock sticking up. Now if you press R with your scanner opened, you will find 5 available resources at this spot. Top left, you can see 5 resources available. So go ahead and place your beacon here, and now let's start building. So if you press V, you get this helicopter view, which makes this part a bit easier. You have some more oversight, a little bit more overview. Quick explanation: on the top right you have different menus, and using the Z and C keys you can move around between the menus. Step 1, we will place an aluminum extractor over here at 2 o'clock northeast, and then go over to the power section and place, let's say, 2 wind turbines somewhere. It doesn't have to be here. It makes no difference if you place them next to the extractor or somewhere else. It's up to you. Then go over to the furniture section and build a bed next to your outpost beacon. You might want to say, a bed? Why? Well, The next step would be to build an iron extractor, but as you can see on the top left, we are missing aluminum. So how do we fix this, aside from running around and mining it, which will cost you more time than this? Go to your bed, and let me quickly explain what you are looking at. For every 1 local hour that you can sleep, 57 universal time hours will pass. Well, so what does it do? Let me just quickly demonstrate. You sleep for 1 hour and then go back to your build menu, and you can see on the top left that you suddenly now have 193, or whatever you have it as in your particular case. You might have bought some more aluminum, or you have mined something along the way, but you have more aluminum because in the 1 hour that we've slept, then the extractor has been working for 57 hours. So we're going to do the same routine for the iron extractor. Is we place it here at 6 o'clock down in the south, then go to the power menu again and build 2 more wind turbines, and then go over to the crafting menu. And now you want to place one of these industrial workbenches here. So for the next step, we're going to be doing the same trick as with the aluminum. I want to build a storage, but you can see that we're missing iron and we're missing adaptive frames. So for the iron, we're going to do the same thing. Is you're going to exit your build menu and you're going to sleep for 1 hour. So this will give you extra aluminum and extra iron, and also the components needed for the adaptive frames. And for that we built this workbench. So open up the workbench, and if you've never seen this before, these are all the different crafting materials you can build at this crafting table. So on the top here we have adaptive frames, and as you can see we have the resources. So go ahead and craft 24 adaptive frames. Down in the menu here, go to 0 wire and craft 2. Now exit this menu and go back to the build menu in the outpost beacon. And as you can see, we can now build the storages. So just go ahead and build 2 separately from each other. So I say 1 here and 1 here. And now this next part, we are going to be telling the extractors where to put their resources. So press tab, and we are now in modify mode. Go over to your extractor, right click it, and we're gonna drag this line over to one of the storages and then press E. And we'll do the same thing for the iron extractor. So right click it, drag the line over to the other storage, and then press E to link it. So the extractors will now automatically put their resources in these storage units. And now for the next part, which is also the last building step. So go back to build mode and then go to the miscellaneous menu, where you want to look up this landing pad with shipbuilder. So let's see what's a nice location. I suggest you put it somewhere close, because that'll save you travel time. And just build it, and there we go. Now we've basically built the basic skeleton of this outpost. So let me now quickly explain and go over the benefits that you can experience from having this outpost. But before we do, if you have been following along, congratulations on having built your first outpost. If not, you might still be wondering, why should I build an outpost? Let me try and put it in a different perspective. What do these games have in common? No Man's Sky, Osiris New Dawn, Empyrean, and Satisfactory. Well, you can spend lots of time just having fun with building a base. To clarify up front, In Starfield, you don't need an outpost in order to unlock certain parts of the game or anything. It's more a matter of, do you want to enjoy the building process itself and or enjoy the benefits that having an outpost can offer you? Let's take a look at those right now. Benefit number one is that you can gain large amounts of experience points fast. So how does this work? We already had a little sneak peek of this just now when we were building our outpost. So when you go over to your workbench, we already noticed that it sees all the resources that you have in your outpost. So whether it be in an extractor or in one of the storage units, it sees whatever amount you have in total. Now we just built 24 of these to build our storages with, but you can also just build out an entire batch of 99 pieces as long as you have the resources. So when you do this, you get 1 XP point per individual unit of whatever you have made. And in our case, we just used our bed. We have just slept, so we are well rested. You get an extra 10% over whatever you have created. So in this case, 108 points in total. You can rinse and repeat this entire process. We don't have enough resources now, so what you basically do is the same trick as with building the extractors. You can go ahead and sleep for a couple of hours, and then in the meantime, the extractors will have gathered resources. So in this case, for like 171 hours worth. And now it's day. That's a little bit nicer than the dark and gloomy environment that we had so far. So as you can see on the top, you have a lot of resources available. So just churn out a couple of batches. And this is way faster than doing missions or anything. You can keep doing this until, let's go quickly exit, you gain a new level. So this is the way to level up quickly, especially in the beginning, and get some more skill points. The second benefit is actually the location of this outpost itself. In this spot, as we have seen when we were placing the outpost beacon, you have 5 resources available, 4 of which are heavily used when you want to either expand this outpost or build a new one. Let me just quickly show you. Whenever you want to be expanding your storage units, your storage capacity, then you can see you need adaptive frames, which are made out of iron and aluminum, which are also a component. The same goes for the wind turbines over there. They use nickel, aluminum and cobalt, so you can quickly expand on those. This also applies to the crafting materials, so go over to your workbench and then you can see that we already met the adaptive frames. But you can also craft isocentered magnets, which use nickel and cobalt, and mag pressure tanks, which use nickel and aluminum. Now the third benefit is an optional one. You don't have to do it, but it's nice to take alongside the first option, because you can use this as a XP farm. You're making a whole bunch of materials and in the process you gain XP, but then obviously you have crafted all those materials. So what do you do with those? Well, you can just decide to drop them, or you can use them to craft something else, like a more advanced crafting material. But especially in the beginning, when you don't have access yet to those more advanced materials, you can just take all of what you just crafted, go over to a vendor and sell them for credits. So that way you get a nice extra amount of credits out of the work that you are already doing. If you do decide to sell all your materials, then here's a quick tip, especially if you are a new player or you're playing with a new character. Just put some skill points in the commerce skill. You can find them in the social tree, and you can see here why. If you manage to rank it up to level 4, eventually, sure, you will be able to, but once you get there, you will benefit from a 25% better price when selling your goods. So the faster you get this, you can imagine over a longer period of time, as opposed to not having the skill, you will just gain a whole bunch more credits. So there's still a very important step that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's the reason why we have built this landing pad with the ship builder control console. Our ship is still all the way over there on that hill. But if we have just been building all these materials and you want to go to town and you want to sell them to a vendor, you need to get to your ship first. Now, walking all the way back to your ship, sure, you can do it, but the only problem is, If you have just made a whole bunch of adaptive frames, then you are carrying way more than you should be able to. So you are over encumbered and you will take health damage long before you get to your ship. So that's not really convenient. So that's the first reason why we have built a landing pad to start with, because then next time when you land at your outpost, you land straight away here. But the second reason is because we have this ship builder control console. Let me quickly go up here, open up the console here, go to view and modify ships, go to the ship builder option at the bottom right, and then hover over one of the modules, it doesn't really matter which one, and then press J or go to the color option and then slightly adjust the color, click on accept and then say exit and accept all the changes. What happens then is, ta-da, your ship is here. Let me just say I have no idea why it works the way it does. But let's just be grateful for the fact that we don't have to walk all the way back up that hill to get to our ship. This way you have it here instantly, and you already have a nice expansion option because you can attach new modules to this landing pad. And you already have the ship builder control console, so if you want to play around with the ship building aspect of Starfield, then you already have the option built in with this first basic outpost. Of course, this is just the beginning of your outpost. You can expand it with additional modules, or when you are really into it, you can build a second one. Now, of course, outposts are only one aspect of Starfield, and there are lots of other activities to have fun with. So if you're wondering what those are, or looking for some good tips in general, be sure to check out this video. See you guys next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.